Well, we're back. It's another week. My name is Willie.
Yep. Yep. My name's Iz. Going into another weekend, right? Going in,
Right.
like we said, how we
So we're
talked about
going.
last week with everything that's happening. We talked about the shoes that are about to drop and all that other stuff. Today we had the debate. We had the debate, and then we had the confirmation, the initial confirmation for Miss Barrett for the Supreme
Yes.
Court. Those are two big things that just happened today. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I was kind of not surprised that Miss Barrett was going to get confirmation.
Hmm.
I did like that, even though the Democrats, they couldn't really do anything per se, other than making a symbolic stance and just saying we're going to boycott this confirmation.
Hmm.
But these guys are really, when I say these guys, I'm talking about, uh, you know, Donald Trump and the GOP. They want to get this confirmation in, and they want her in that seat. Because I think, quite frankly, these guys are really anticipating a real nasty election. I mean, we know it's going to be an election. More people have voted already than in the previous election, especially this
Hmm.
early. So they want to get her in there just in case you do have to make that decision in the courts. So really, I think the only way to not have her to do this is to win by landslide.
Yeah. So the impacts, some of the impacts that she's gonna
I think she's
her
gonna do
public
it.
record, right? Her public record speaks for itself.
Yeah, I'm. My thing is, like, she only have 2 years experience, uh, and looking back over some of the things that she has, she made a decision on. They're very controversial. Uh, I don't really, I don't like the double standard when it comes to religion, because it just seemed like hers is just. I think she would just overturn everything Notorious RBG did. I
Hmm.
think she had set women back. She's gonna set them back to like Stone Age time. That's why so
Yeah.
many women was protesting around the country this past week, because they know that this person is only a woman physically. Mentally, she is. To me, she looked like she came straight out of Handmaid's Tale. You
Mm.
know, she doesn't look like she's gonna do just what they want her to do, and it's almost, it's almost to the point where she almost like a Stafford wife to me.
Yeah.
Like it.
Her
She,
beliefs.
yeah, everything is just off cue for me when I look at this lady. From her dress, the way she answer questions or not answer
Didn't
questions.
answer question. Yeah.
Yeah, she always evade those questions. So um, I just don't trust her. But I think what this will do, if she does get confirmation, uh, and I'm hoping that Biden get in. But now we're going to have, I think they will pack the court, because you're going to have a court that's pretty much conservative based, and they're only going to look at things from their
Hmm.
conservative views. I don't
Yeah.
have anything against conservatism, but everything ain't conservative, and
Right.
and I think it's just going to hurt. It's going to hurt the country.
Hmm.
If you get rid of Roe v. Wade, then you're going to. I remember those days when women were going to those little back alley, and those ladies used
Abortion stuff.
coat racks and stuff like this,
Hmm.
and a lot of people losing their lives. I never liked the idea anyone has any kind of say so over your body.
Other the women. Yeah. Other than the women.
Yeah, and that's their choice. And I don't know when it comes to abortions. I really don't know how I feel about that, because there's so many different aspects. The reason why a woman would get an abortion.
So let me put it like this. So we have free will, and it's
Right.
in the Bible. We have free will, and it's said that God will judge us, once we go to the pearly gates and meet Mr. Peter. But excuse me. But when we get up there, God didn't give man the right to say what you can and can't do.
No.
By giving us free will, you have the opportunity to make choices in life, and you will be judged by those choices in
Yeah.
life. We have 550 kids, lives that are alive now that they're out of the womb, they're alive. They separated from the parents, you know. And in the debate today, we talked about, you heard Mr. Trump talk, and he wanted to change that real quick. And he did talk about the cages, and the cages were built for adults, and
They
that's
were.
why he didn't want to answer it. But it was built, it was, and that's fine. That's just a fact. But you don't separate parents. I mean, you never heard about that in any presidency, not just
Anyway,
Obama. You know, and I'm all for, you know, securing the border. Don't get me wrong. Just because I'm this color, don't mean I care for everybody. Come on over. That's not the case. We have laws, and we're a nation of laws. But when you have somebody who violates so many laws that's in office, all the little cronies are going to follow suit and think of, okay, he got the green light. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, and he's going to have their backs as long as
yeah,
they're in line with what he believes, you know. But when it comes back to going full circle, how you feel with giving somebody an opportunity to make their own decision, right?
yeah. And if they can do it,
You want to tell somebody in the bedroom what they can and can't do, who they can and can't marry, but you don't want them and then to wear a mask or not. You want those rights, you know, those
yeah,
choices are okay.
wear
But when
seatbelts.
it comes to the woman's right to choose something, you know, for whatever reason, for whatever, and I get there's situations where, you know, there's rape and all that. I get all that, but it's really up to her and her doctor, you know, and that's something that a family makes as they sit. That doesn't make me wrong. I have my beliefs, you know,
Yeah,
but I support you choosing whatever you want to do because you have consequences for everything, you know. And if you're a believer in the Bible, then you're going to meet your maker, and you're going to have to answer for that.
yeah. He's not going to ask me or you, well, who influenced you?
Mm-hmm.
All that is out the window because you have choices.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get to the age where you understand theoretically what's right and wrong, but then that's a big old debate because everybody got their opinion what's right, what's true, what's not. But in your heart of heart, I think that's where humanity come in, empathy come in, sympathy come in, love for one another. All of that's in that equation. And if you have just a little bit of that in you, you're gonna know, man. I don't want to see that lady go through that right there.
Yeah.
I hate that she had to make that decision, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not her. I To show you how tough that is and making when you talk about making decisions. I go back to this brother named Joe Hammond, and he was like a playground legend. This brother was so bad that the Lakers wanted him in 1971, 69 and 71, and they already won. You know, they had Elgin, they
Yeah.
had the stud. This guy never even played high school basketball. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
play college, but they was after him for 2 hard years. He was going to replace Jerry West. But getting to his point was everybody loved what he done, and they couldn't understand why he didn't want to come and do it. They was offering him money and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so this guy sat down with him. He said, like, Joe, man, you a great player. He said, like, you know what? You love what I'm doing more than I love what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
He said, even the Lakers offered him everything, but because this young brother was 18 years of age, he bounced from house to house, sleeping on people's couches.
Mm-hmm.
He, it took them forever to even find one birth certificate on him because he moved around so much.
Oh.
But those people that he was endured to for taking care of him, and they said, well, what would it take for you to come? He said, like, can I bring them with me? And he said, I'd rather go and make these people happy because they saved my life and go and chase these riches. And he wasn't even mad at anybody. Nobody could understand that. I don't even know if I could have made that choice.
No, that's
Uh,
a hard one.
that's a hard one. But he said, but then the moral was, and he said, you love me doing what I do better than I love what I'm doing. I just love doing it.
Yeah, and it's not that these
So,
people they want to go and do something like that. You know,
no.
to put it on the
And
spot.
and it goes back to when you said making choices.
Yeah.
Some people, some of your choices, it might be a lot of people saying like, "Wow, this I can't believe you made that choice.
Mm-hmm.
You could have been doing something else. I think you
Mm-hmm.
could have done this." But it's you. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you got to be you.
You make your own
And
choice.
so and so when the courts step in See, I think the court step in too many ways where they shouldn't be involved in it. I think when it comes to abortion, and if a lady said like whatever her religious belief is,
Hmm.
let me go to talk to a minister and tell them what I'm gonna do and see if I can get someone to, let them hear my side of the story
Yeah,
and ask them if they will forgive me for what I. That's all the Pope does.
yeah.
You just go to him, but at the end of the day, he can't make that decision for you. Not really.
You're judged for what you do.
Yeah, you do it.
Yeah. You
So
read the word, and then you make your own choice. You make your own
yeah,
choice. So the
the
status
first thing,
quo as it is as of today, as of this recording, is that um, they have the right to make a choice.
yeah, it's not your right to tell them
Consequence,
what to do.
yeah, the consequence with her coming on is that she had made it very well known that she thinks that the decision is incorrect and
Yeah,
that abortions of all kinds should be illegal. Um,
I think so.
so yeah, so that's one of the issues. And the other issue about the Affordable Care Act,
Oh,
she thinks that it was, it wasn't right the way it was decided, and that basically it should be repealed. And all 22 million people that are on Obamacare will be left without anything. And then they talk about the right talks about how they have employee health care. The employers will pay for it. These fucking people, no offense, I mean these fucking employees, they don't have employers, right? So
oh,
how they gonna get how you get health care from an employer that doesn't exist?
yeah, you don't even. And then when you do find an employee that's only paying you below minimum wages, and he
Walmart.
offered it to you, you can't. If you're a family person, really, even if you're single, you can't afford it.
You got people working at Walmart that still come and get benefits,
Yeah, yeah,
Medi-Cal, some CalWorks, some food stamps, and they
it's not
keep you
enough
right
money.
under there. They just keep you right underneath the poverty line to just get by a little bit.
Yet they can take them a nice bonus. They
Mhm.
can make them some serious money. That's why he always brag about Wall Street.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you and I, we know about stock market and
Mhm.
Wall Street and stuff like that. But look how many millions don't. Don't.
Yeah.
That's the last thing on their mind is worrying about if they can buy a
And what does
cigarette.
that mean? What does that mean? So what that means for laymen, for people that really don't understand what Wall Street is. You hear that Wall Street, the stock market went up. Okay, good.
It's
No, it's
good
not good for 97, 98% of the people
at
that don't
all.
understand what it is. So middle and lower class, they feel like, oh, well, stock market is going up. Trump's doing great. But
Yeah,
meanwhile, your situation has gotten worse.
yeah.
So how is it good for you?
He is doing great, but not you.
Yeah, you. So yeah, so it's always the top, and they even said recently that the top 2%, whatever it is, are making a lot more than they've ever made in a pandemic. How are you making money in a pandemic?
Not only that, when you get back to healthcare, and you were saying like, well, uh, we might cover. We don't know if we're going to cover pre-existing
Yeah,
condition. We're in a pandemic.
yeah,
You know how many people are going to have
conditions.
pre-existing condition after you run
Hmm.
through COVID?
Oh yeah,
Because you're messing with
the
your
respiratory.
immune system.
Yeah,
You're messing with your breathing, your lungs, your heart. It's gonna affect you in a number of ways. Depending on what kind of blood type you got or your diabetes. You might not be diabetes, but it might be something else you don't even know anything about.
but he's had a plan for 6 years. They've had a plan. Their plan was to repeal it and replace it, but you've never heard of anything that they're going to replace it.
It's coming every time I see this guy. Oh, it's gonna be there in the next 2 weeks. You're turning the
It's
curve. It's
round
gonna
the
be there in
curve.
the next 2 weeks.
It's
I
been
said,
round the curve.
just go around the curve and let me see what's around the curve because you
It's around
keep
the curve,
telling
but
me,
it was gonna die out. It was only two people got it. It's gonna die out in a couple weeks. You watch, he said. You wait
yeah,
till the summer, it's gonna stop. It's gonna
it's gonna
watch. You
stop.
wait. We're still
And then
waiting. 200,000 people later that are dead are waiting.
it's gonna go into winter and it's gonna be worse.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so much worse. We're gonna have a real dog winter. I think this is gonna be almost, uh, you know, similar to when was it, 1918?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be worse.
Yeah. And they said that today,
It's gonna
the
be
20,
global.
the 22nd was the worst day of outbreaks since I think May.
Yeah, and it's gonna be worse.
Hmm.
And this guy has no clue. They're finding more things out now as they go.
Yeah.
But like, just think about it. if you don't follow some type of protocol, then there's going to be more people spreading this virus. I mean, like right now, you don't kill more people that had AIDS, more people was in all the wars being fought, and it's still growing. So this guy has no clue, and I'm thinking, why would you vote for him when you hear him tell Bob Woodruff that, you know what, this is a bad disease here. It's dangerous. It's airborne. Just think if we just known it was airborne in January and donned the mess then. 4 months would have made a big old difference.
Yep. But no, people don't listen. They want to. Well, he said this. Well, how many times are you gonna be let down? You know what I'm saying? He said this. He's gonna do this. He's gonna do that.
And he lied about everything.
Yeah.
I am just mystified that it's that many people that hate people like uh, the haves that they would just rather just say, you know what, I'd rather not have anything than let you get anything.
Yeah. Basically.
And they have someone that have no clue is not. I mean, like, how you gonna explain you paid $18,000 in taxes to Russia? I mean to China, and you paid $750 here, and still want. He's still saying, "Oh, my taxes are on audit," you know. Cause like, dude, they've been doing it for 4 years. You can audit the whole world in about 3 months, but yours is just so unusual that it's taking 4 years, and everybody's against him.
There's no audit, and even if he was under audit, they said that he could release them. He could do whatever he wants. They're his.
But you know what? I don't so much as blame him for getting away with what he's getting away with, as I blame Congress for letting him get away with the thing.
The enablers, those enablers.
Yeah, and it's a lot of them. They jumping ship now.
Yeah.
But you think people are gonna forget what you done for 4 years? I was looking at Lindsey Graham when they was talking about Amy, Miss Barrett, when she gonna get that confirmation, and we saying like, well, the Democrats, you started it. They all 6 years old. I'm telling you, you started back in 2013. It's 2020 now, fool. Like, what are you doing? And now what you gonna do? So if the Democrats get in, and which I hope they do, and they flip the Senate, don't you think they're not gonna pack the court because they're gonna say you're not gonna have all your Supreme Court?
Yeah, especially with the hypocrisy of these guys who don't have their word. They basically shit on their own word. They talk about they're not gonna do it. Like I said in the last show, McConnell said let's let the voters decide. And that's when Obama had like 8 months left in his term. Democrats still fought to try to get it done, but the Senate didn't allow it. That was McConnell. And now the shoe's on the other foot now. So now they have the Senate, and now that it's Trump's appointee. They're like, yeah, no, that's different. Now we have the Senate, so it's different. What happened to let the people decide? And that's what I go by that. So, and that's what pissed me off as somebody, one of his constituents.
Yeah.
You don't trust the people. He don't trust the people because they're all on the losing side as of now. Who knows? I've seen polls, and we could be all wrong on November 4th.
I'm not taking. I'm not going.
No, and nobody should take that chance. Everybody should get their ass out and vote.
You need to go vote.
Vote. Bring 2-3 people with you, like-minded people, and go do what you need to do. Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. So elections have consequences. So because you got the Senate, you have that. You're doing this now. Cool. Remember that, because guess what? When the shoe's on the other foot, and when the Democrats run the Senate and then they have the presidency, they can create more positions on the bench. Yeah, Monday when they do the final vote for this lady, that's going to be the final pitch. At this point, we'll see what the people say, and the people are going to decide what we're going to do. You're going to either do the right way and let the people decide and not go through with this vote, or vote her down and let the people decide, or just say elections have consequences. I wouldn't even say if you're going to do it or not. You don't have to say it. You just say elections have consequences, and they can read between the lines all they want, because all they want is a soundbite to say, oh, well, look what they're going to do. You need to come out and vote for us because they're going to overturn. So they're going to rile up their people, which is whatever. But they're riled up anyway, so I don't know if it'll make much of a difference. That's
going to have consequences, especially for those Republicans in a tight race.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys are going to lose their seat.
Yeah, the women. There's no
I'm
respect for women
thinking,
over there.
yeah, I don't know about Moscow Mitch, because those people in Kentucky, I do not understand why they so loyal to this turtle. I just do not understand that.
Well, all the Chinese money and the Russian money that's coming in to
Yeah,
help him, because look what's happening. They're not making any election. You saw that thing that came out yesterday with the emails. We talked about something happening.
yeah,
The emails came out. Iran has an email that they sent out to Democrats, and now they sent it from the Proud Boys. And then the director of national intelligence, which is another Trump appointee, he
yeah.
said, "Oh, it was designed to hurt Trump."
Yeah,
Okay,
and said nobody believe it. First of all, you
he's trying to be
threw
another James Comey.
yeah, first you throw Iran in front of Russia when
Yeah,
everybody knows Russia first.
yeah,
It's always going to be Russia first.
yeah.
Russia been doing this for years, and that's why I was looking at how his face got all twisted when Kristen Walker, and she done a good job tonight as far as
I think so. I think it was fair. I
yeah,
think it was
it
fair.
was pretty close, right? She done a pretty good job.
Hmm.
But you can just see the look on his face when he gets certain questions. Uh, and she asked some nice questions
Hmm.
uh, for both of them, especially on incarceration. And he was
Yeah,
talking about, but Joe done this in 1994.
yeah.
But
She and
they
she
don't
she asked
tell,
him both hard questions.
yeah, and they don't tell the whole reason why. It
Yeah.
wasn't just Joe doing that in '94. The
Hmm.
Black Caucus was on this. Man, crack was going crazy in the '90s,
Hmm.
and they didn't know what to do. But in that bill they passed, a lot of crime bills. They, assault weapons. It was a lot of things in that bill, not just that. Uh, but he right now this guy was saying like, yeah, but look at what you're proposing, and you can't keep selling. Oh, I done more for black people than Abraham Lincoln. Are you just crazy, man? What is wrong with you? And when you make a statement like that, as far as I'm concerned, Abraham Lincoln, he was okay.
Hmm.
He only freed the black because he would just save the union. It wasn't like he was really crazy about black
Yeah.
people, So I'm thinking you could just save that. And plus,
Hmm.
what that's an old term they always use in when they show what a little bit of history they want you to know
Hmm.
about slavery. They
Yeah.
use Abraham Lincoln.
A savior. Yeah.
Yeah, but he couldn't even answer questions on one of the questions they asked him when she was asking him about race and black and brown.
The talk.
And yeah, so Trump did. Oh, but look what I've done. Yeah, but what have you done? What would you tell? The question was, what would you tell parents out there tonight about the injustice that
Hmm.
black and brown are, are up to when police stop them?
Hmm.
Oh, you know what? We done done so much. We got
Talking
all these.
points. Talking points. That's
Never,
all.
never answer a question.
No,
He
just straight
never have
talking
any
points.
empathy at all for anyone else. When he said that about those kids, I'm thinking like, oh, but they treated well.
Yeah, that's the
How
idiot.
would your orange ass like to be in a cage
Hmm.
with a little Milo blanket
Yeah.
in El Paso when it's extremely hot and extremely cold?
Hmm. Yeah. He had no answer for him because he has no answer. He has no. Well, they're treated well. We're looking into it, but there's no answer. You should know it. You should know it. You separated these kids on purpose to try to send a message. Now you're stuck with these broken families, which is not a good look.
Oh,
That's almost an international crime, in my opinion,
it is.
because you're doing that. You're basically taking. That's like the United States going in to Russia, stealing a bunch of kids from whoever. It could be political people, some people are high ranking. Guess what? You think they're going to sit around and let you do that? They're going to rally the people around them and be like, you know what? Let's look at them. Look what they did, and
Yeah.
it'll piss everybody off. But it's not pissing too many people off. Well, some people are pissed off, but I think
Remember all those
it's a
girls?
double standard. Like, they're like, oh well, they should, and he tried to turn it. Well, they shouldn't have brought over by coyotes, and I said no. Obviously there's paperwork with a name of a mother and father, somebody that brought him, right? And they said that they were their parent. But he's trying to switch it and trying to distract everybody by saying, well, they come from the coyotes, bring them, and all these cartels bring the cartels bringing drugs over. They're not trying to bring kids over.
Bro, they don't need
So
no kid needing water.
yeah,
Yeah.
so he tries to spin it and tries to make it into something else to try to give his base talking points to talk around this thing. So tomorrow when you have this conversation, you're going to hear people talk about, well, no, the narcs bringing them over and all this other stuff. That's not the case. The
But that's
paperwork
not the
says that
case.
they're their parents.
And you know
Period.
what's so sad is when they interviewed when they did talk to some of the parents, they put them in such a dilemma and such a choice they had to make. Okay, you can either leave your kids and you go back, or you and your kids both go back and try to make it back across the way you came in. You know, ain't no parents gonna be saying like, "No, man, I don't want my kid to go back through that again."
Hmm.
And they use that,
Yeah.
and now they can't even find the parents. I think,
Yeah.
and the kids are all over the country.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they got some relatives that can stay.
Yeah.
Stay.
Hopefully they did. Hopefully
Yeah,
they did.
but it's not many of them that do.
No, some of them are still some are still in the cages. They're still locked up. So
They,
that's the sad part. But they didn't have a plan from the beginning. You know, they were just
no,
trying to make a political statement at the beginning.
but this
They didn't bring the
administration
people in that
never
they
have.
needed to bring in.
But this administration never have a plan.
Yeah,
And if
that's
they
their
do
plan.
have a
The
plan,
plan is to not have a plan.
yeah, they don't have a plan. And when they do have one, and everybody sitting around in a little conference room thinking,
Hmm.
okay, this is what we're gonna do,
Yeah.
and then idiot goes right out and blows that shit up right away. Then they were like, why did you go out and say that? When I'm reading John Bolton, he was going like, man, Rex Tillerson said like, this is an ignorant motherfucker right here.
Hmm.
This guy has no business running out even a chicken farm, and he look what he's done to this country.
Yeah.
I can't. If he get another 4 years, I don't know where we'll be.
No, that's true. And again, now we're what, a week and a half out, or
It's
almost
gonna be bad.
just under 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll have one more show for next week, and then it'll be the election, and then we'll have our first show after the election in 2 weeks. So it should be interesting. We're at the point of the show where we're going to talk about what's happening next week. What do you think, Willie? Talk about next week. I know that the Monday is the day that they're going to actually do the full Senate
Yeah.
vote for Miss
But
Amy.
I
What
think
do you think is
after
going to
that,
happen next week?
so I'm looking at the confirmation is going to be big on Monday, but then you're going to start seeing more and more uh, voter fraud brought up. You're going to see more and more uh, people standing in longer lines, more polls being closed. Then you're going to see, I think you're going to start seeing more of his little poll watchers popping up and disrupting. It's going to be a lot of kind of distraction.
Mm-hmm.
So I think going into that final stretch, I think this is going to be the stretch. It's either going to make us or break us, and it's going to be bad. I don't. I'm thinking from now until the 4th of November, until we really find out or later, the next week or so is going to really be a major turning point for this country, probably bigger than ever before.
Mm.
So I think that's what's going to transpire next week.
Okay. Huh. I'm thinking the Borat movie's coming out.
Yes.
You heard about Mr. Giuliani. So I want to see how that's going to play out, because you have to remember the source of the information that the president was talking about with the laptop,
Yeah.
Joe Biden's laptop, and all of that material that's on that laptop per se, that they're finding out is coming from Russia. The information, a lot of it's coming from Russia. So they have to look at it. They have to scrutinize what's on there. So I know that the Republicans are really trying to make it a big deal. And who knows? I'm not saying I do not know, but I know that once you consider the messenger, which, and if it is Russia, and Giuliani played an integral part in that, I think that's
Yeah.
going to be a big story next week. Aside from the Amy thing,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think and what I'm thinking is if the only, I think some, and this is just me, I'm stretching it, but I think that one of the talking that she may not get all the votes. I know they need a couple more. I don't know if they'll let the people talk, because I think that Romney still has aspirations to be president.
Yeah.
And I know he may be that third vote that forces the tie, right? And then
Yes.
if he can get one more, and I know that some of these Republicans are pulling away from him, But if they
Yeah.
want to make a
Well, they're gonna.
statement, there's an opportunity here, and I don't really want to say that. So I'm not sure she's locked in yet with the full Senate vote. So it'll be good to see on
But I
Monday.
think,
But I
and
think
that's gonna
that
be
I think those two be the
yeah,
Russian.
that's gonna play out. That's gonna be playing out for the rest of the week.
Hmm. Yeah. So
So
those are my
Monday,
two things for next week. That's what's popping next week. So
all right. So I think those are good ones because they're gonna definitely be there.
yes,
And
sir.
then just be prepared for anything else wild and crazy because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I think the Russian and Iranian emails and the Joe Biden are the two surprises that they had. I'm not sure if there's anything else. I don't think there's anything else, but those are the two. If anything's going to make any, and I just want to comment. You see how the president was acting presidential? Remember when he said, "Oh, it's so easy to act presidential" back when you first running?
yeah,
It took him all but a week and a half to the last until the next election to figure it out that he's acting presidential. He was quiet. He didn't want to talk when it was just 2 minutes. I thought it was funny. I was looking at his face, just
yeah.
in his
He said it
reactions,
all.
and he was holding himself back. That was funny.
Like Joe
I thought
said,
it was interesting.
he was in like Joe said. You know what? You're not running against Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
You run not Hillary. Joe Biden is who you run
because
against.
that's what they do. He brought up so and so. He brought up this person, that person. He
Yeah,
said,
that's
me, I'm the one.
Worry about me. So yes,
All
so
right,
next
sir.
week, bro,
Yep.
that'll be a good one.
Everybody else have a good weekend. And we'll see you back here next week to see if our premonitions.
Yeah. So stay live, stay well.
Peace out.
Peace.
Teddy.
That's right. Fuck everybody. Do you?
Boom.
Peace, brother.